Hey guys, in this video we're going to learn about strings in JavaScript. But before I begin, please like and comment on the video and please sub to the channel. Alright, let's get started. So we got strings, alright, and I just got a flow going on here. So how do you create strings, how to properly index the substrings, how do you get a substring of a string, and then I'm going to go over some methods that are important like includes, index of, last index of, and then there's a really cool method called split that I really want every beginner JS developer to know. Okay, so let's get started. So how do you create strings? Well, you can just say let str equals a string. You can say, Billy Bob Joe, right? And that's basically how you create a string, right? Nothing too much to it. All right, well, now we get, now we have to ask, how do we index? And, analogous to arrays, you can access strings via zero indexing. And this is a point that I really want to highlight. Is even though strings are primitive types in JavaScript, it actually uses the string wrapper class to make them. So you have access to a bunch of methods, right? Like includes and all those other methods. So you'll see how that plays in a role. So now let's do indexing. So let's say I want to access the, second index starting from 0 of the str. So I can just say console.log str of 2, right? So now we got that. Let's run it. And I get L. Why? Because 0, 1, 2, this is L. All right, let's do another one like 8. See what it is. It's B, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So you get to this B. Okay, so that's how you index in JavaScript. Now, we get to the substrings. All right, so I showed you how to create and how to index. All right, now how do you get the substring? Well, what is a substring? Well, the name kind of gives it away. A substring is basically a portion of a string where you give the starting index and the ending index, and it's just a portion of the string, right? So, and it doesn't need to start from the beginning. It can always start anywhere. It can start and end wherever you want in the string. Okay, so now how do we do that? Well, a string has a substring method, right? So again, even though this seems like a primitive type, we're using the string class that JavaScript provides. So we can say console.log str.substring of, let's say, 6 to 9 or 6 to 8, right? So let's play. All right, so you get BO, right? Because we're getting the 6th to the 8th string. Now let me first show you something. 6 to the 8th index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a key point, is that in Java, in pretty much all languages, whenever you say substring, it does not include the second number. So it's basically 6 and 7 inclusive. So now what I mean by that is B was the 6th index and O was the 7th index, and the little b was the 8th index, right? As we did in line 13. But it doesn't include it because it's the second one. So it only gets the 6 and 7 index, okay? The characters at the 6 to 7 index, right? Okay, so that's the substring. So basically the key thing to know is that this number, the second number, will not be included. All right, so there we go. So now JavaScript also provides includes, where you can see if a string is in the string itself. So we can say console.log str.includes Billy, and then let's play that, and it's true because it does indeed have Billy. Now let's put a name it does not have, John. False because John is not in the string, right? And then we can even give it substring like JO, and that should work. Okay, so that is what substrings are. It is just, or that is how the includes works, right? Basically, you just give it the string, and then it checks, okay, is this substring in the whole string? Awesome. Okay, so yeah. Now we also have index of and last index of. So in a string, you can actually check if a character exists in the string by using the index of and last index of. If it returns -1, that means it doesn't have it. So now let's do console.log str.index of, and then we can say like J, and it's 10 because the 10th index, right? And we can do, f. Let's see if it has it. No, -1, right? So if a character is not in the string, then it gives -1. And then if it is, then it gives the number. Now, one thing to note is that index of starts from 0. So if you want it to start from the tail or the end, then you need to use last index of. So I'll just do one instance because the name is self-explanatory. And let's just use it here. And let's do it for the same character for both of them. So let's do B. I think that's a good one. So B and then B. So let's run it. Okay, so the first one was 0 because this B is the 0th index. And the last index of B is actually starting from the tail. So that's going to be this B. And note how it's sensitive to the camel case, to the case, right, upper or lower. So this was the B. All right, awesome. So now that's that, okay? And then we're gonna wrap it up with the split method. So the split method is really cool in the sense that you can immediately turn a string to an array based on a delimiter, right? And what's a delimiter? A delimiter in this case is basically how do you want to split the string, right? So let's say I want to split the string by spaces. So by invoking the split method, I can actually make an array where the 0th item is Billy, the first item is Bob, and the second item is Joe, and it's split because of the space, right? So let me show you what I mean. So if I do this, console.log, and I do str.split, and then I do the space, now let's see what happens. Now I get 3 items in the array, right? So Billy, Bob, Joe. All right. Now, just to further cement this concept in your head, what if I put an underscore here? What would happen then, right? So let's play it. And now you see that Billy, Bob came together and Joe was the second one. Why? Because there's only one space. So the delimiter only occurred once. So that's why we split it 2 times. But since in the original string, the split was like this, like there was a space 2 times, then we could split like this and this. So it's basically like making an array off of every delimiter. That's the way to think about it. All right, so I think this is a good place to stop, right? This is a basic overview of strings. So again, I got much more videos coming up on this crazy cool language, so I can't wait to see you then. All right, bye.